Hey everybody, this is Paul from VMAX, and I'm going to take you through how to change the password on your VX4, VX2 Extreme, or really any VMAX scooter that uses the TFT display. I'm going to start from square one here, so I'm going to turn this back off and turn it on. This is how your scooter is going to arrive. When you first get your scooter, there will be no passcode to start up the scooter. It's just going to turn on. But if you want to turn the passcode function on, we go over here to the gear button, hold that down for a couple of seconds, and you'll see this menu pop up, user settings. We're gonna hit the right arrow one time, and that's gonna take us to personalized parameter settings. We wanna enter this, so we're gonna say, okay. We want to enter password enable, and so there we go. Now it's gonna check with us to make sure we know the password before we enable the password, which is smart. That way we're not locking ourselves out. So the default password is just 1, 2, 3, 4. Really easy to hit. You're gonna hit the right arrow and then okay to enter 1, right arrow, okay to get 2, right arrow, okay for 3, right arrow, okay for 4, and then okay one more time, and we are in. Okay, so now we can enable the password. So we hit yes, and then okay, and then now I'm going to hit the gear button to save that for 3 seconds, and we return to the main menu. Now to check, did we enable the password? Power off, power back on. And we have enabled the password. And fortunately, we remember what it is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you hit enter again. So don't be surprised if you need one more okay. And we're in. So great. So now we've enabled the password, but everybody knows our password because it's the default. So let's change it so only you know the password. Okay, so going in the same way, hit the gear button for about 3 seconds. We get the menu. We're going to hit the button once to the right. Personalized parameter settings, that's where we want to go. So we're going to say okay. And now this time we've already enabled the password. So we're going to go to the right one more time to skip this screen. And we're going to go to password modify. And we're going to say okay. So now it's going to check with us again to make sure we know the password before letting us modify the password. Okay. To the right gets us to 2. To the right gets us 3. And to the right one more time gets us to 4. And one more time to accept. And now we've given the password. It's going to let us modify the password. Now, just keep things simple here. I'm just going to give it 0000 as the new password. So I'm just going to keep hitting OK. 0, 0, 0, 0. Now here, you don't say OK at the end, because if you do, you're going to start all over again. So let me just do this again. So you enter the numbers that you want for your new password. And then as soon as you get those numbers up here, hit the gear button for about 3 seconds. It's going to pop you out to the main menu, and that's how you save your settings. Let's check and see if that worked. We're going to power down. We're going to power back up. Password is on. Okay, let's enter 0, 0, 0, 0. That's a really easy one because we don't have to move. Now, of course, you have to enter one more time to get there, and there we go. We have changed the password from 1234 to 0000, and of course this works for any password you want to enter. So now, just to make sure that you got all the steps, I'm gonna go through one more time and change it back from the custom password you just did of 000 to the default password of 1234. Here we go. I'm gonna hold down the gear button for 3 seconds until we get into user settings. Hit the button to the right. That takes us to personalized parameter settings. That's what we want, so we hit OK. And then password enable is already enabled, so we're just going to skip this by going to the right. And now we're at password modify, and we do want to do this, so we're going to hit OK. Okay, so now we're in the password input menu, because again, it wants to check with us to make sure we know the password before it's going to let us change the password. I'm going to enter that custom password that I just put in, which is I'm going to hit OK for 0, OK for 0, OK for 0, OK for 0, and then OK one more time to submit that password. Now it's going to let us change it, and I'm going to change it back to 1234, the default password for the scooter, by using the arrows to move the number around. Hit OK to enter that number. Use the arrow to move over to number 2, OK. Arrow to move over to number 3, OK. Arrow to move over to number 4, OK. And then don't hit OK again. As soon as you get that number up there, hit the gear key. That's going to lock it in. And now we've reverted to the default password. And let's check it. Power off. Power back on. It's going to ask us for our password. And now it should be the default of 1. And I'm going to move the number over with the arrow. Okay. Move the number over with the arrow. Okay. Move the number over to the number 4. Okay. And then I'm going to hit OK one more time to submit that password. And we're in. We've successfully changed all the way from the default password of 1234 to 0000. And now we've changed back to 1234. Now, if you decide you get tired of entering all of these passwords and you feel like you really don't need the code anymore, hit the gear button again. Go to the right. We're going to say OK to enter personalized parameter settings. This time we're going to go back into password enable, and it's going to make us enter the password again, which we just changed back to the default of 1, 2, 3, 4, and OK. And now it's going to let us turn off the password, and I'm going to say OK to that. And now I'm going to hold down the gear button to save that change. Now I'm going to power down. And next time we power on, we shouldn't have to enter the password to get in. It should just fire right up. And there we go. That's how to navigate your pin code lock on your VX4, VX2 Extreme, or any VMAX scooter that uses this TFT display.